everything that we've been fighting at the state level, we've been fighting like an establishment effort on the state level. It's like you want to go now in the big leagues and take him on the same fight up against Dan Crenshaw. So go ahead, just tell me why you're doing this. Why you're going to go challenge Dan Crenshaw.
Yeah. So in 2018, when he ran, there was another guy that ran who was a state rep, and he was kind of squishy, kind of spineless. Nice guy, really nice guy, but he just was spineless. And along comes this Navy SEAL, which I have a great deal of admiration for veterans. I was chairman of the board of Mighty Oaks at the time. I'd been with them for 15 years nearly. And we help veterans with post-traumatic stress. I love veterans. And Dan Crenshaw said he was going to upend the apple cart. He said that he was going to fight the establishment and fight the swamp. And as soon as he got there, became part of the problem and threw his hat in with the Democrats. In fact, he fought the conservatives within the Republican Party harder than he fought the Democrats. He would have nice exchanges with AOC and stuff, and that would get you a lot of clickbait on social media. But the reality is that on the ground in D.C., he was fighting Mark Meadows. He was fighting Jim Jordan. He was fighting those people that were trying to shake up the establishment, to upend the status quo. And Dan Crenshaw became the moniker for the status quo. Foreign wars, while our border's wide open. Billions of dollars to Ukraine, while starving Texas of the ability to fund closing the border. It's just insane.
Yeah, I want to take a quick break and just mention our featured product of the day. It's the X39 patch. I have been on this patch for 14 days. I prior to this patch, I had a heavy caffeine dependency. I would drink 2 to 3 large caffeine drinks a day, and I no longer need those caffeine drinks. I can't look at caffeine. It's the X39 patch. To learn more information on that, text the word Patriot to 330-606-2304. Text the word Patriot to 330-606-2304, and that number will be scrolled on the bottom of the screen. So with regards to Dan Crenshaw, again, we had such high hopes for him, and then my first question mark with him was when he berated a group of young Republicans at University of Houston.
Montgomery County Tea Party meeting. I was there.
Okay. I think that might be a separate one. I'd like to hear about that. But at University of Houston.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because they basically brought some questions up that challenged the globalist narrative, and and they were not being hostile, and he just berated them. But I made a list here of what Dan. Okay, so just to give you an idea of Dan Crenshaw. Nearly every red flag law that was ever proposed, he supported, and he even introduced his own red flag law called the TAPS Act. The gun owners of America have called him out, and he quarrels with the gun owners of America. That's number one. Eddie Gallagher. Eddie Gallagher is a war hero. He is a special forces who was put on trial for war crimes. His brothers absolutely supported him, denounced the allegations. They've largely been proven to be false. And they called on Dan Crenshaw for help. And Dan Crenshaw lobbied for Eddie Gallagher to get the life sentence. Who does that?
The people that do that are the people that want a future with the industrial war complex. The revolving door in Congress is that if you come in to Congress as a veteran, their hope is that you're going to, once you leave Congress, you're going to be a lobbyist for them. But in order for you to get that high-paying gig as a lobbyist, you've got to be all in for them. You've got to be all in for them at the expense of your loyalty to your brothers and to teammates. And that's what he did. That's absolutely what he did. He sold Eddie Gallagher down the river. Shameful.
Was he not named a young star of the World Economic Forum?
He and Klaus Schwab, baby.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So another one. Klaus Schwab. Goodness gracious. Klaus Schwab was out there talking about. Gosh, I'm going to forget this one. Dan Crenshaw was absolutely dismissive of it. Maybe you can refresh my memory. So, Klaus Schwab, you will own nothing and you'll be happy. And he was proposing something along those lines. I'm going to forget now. And anyways, the point being is that while Klaus Schwab was out there proposing this, Dan Crenshaw was being asked about it, and he's completely dismissive of the World Economic Forum's agenda, as if it's a nothing burger.
Yeah, I mean, and it's fully embraced. It's completely and fully embraced by Marxists in our government.